this number right here, $15, I think it was 62 cents times 3,375. This space, if it were storage, would produce $52,000 a year. They're currently only getting $9,000 a year. So big upside. Then the deal would produce, let's say, up to $400,000 a year of cash flow. Okay, that's $35,000 a month of cash flow, and the property would be worth $8 to $9 million. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Hayden Crabtree. I'm the author of these books, and I am mainly a self-storage investor, which is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Is a current deal I'm under contract to purchase, hopefully purchasing in the next few months. I'm gonna walk you guys through the numbers of why I wanna purchase this deal, what the kind of returns on my deals look like, and what I look for when purchasing a storage facility, and kind of how I analyze those numbers. So don't wanna waste any of your time. If you want to learn more about commercial real estate, you can always get a free copy of my books on this channel or at haydencrabtree.com/free book. So this is a self-storage property that currently has a retail building in the front. I've actually never owned, well, that's not true. I have owned some retail, but this is a lot of retail. This is actually an old 36,000 square foot retail building. Some of it is occupied. They have a cabinet shop in there paying $5,000 a month. They have a gym in there paying $3,000 a month. They have a dance studio paying $750 a month. And they have, I want to say it's about 10,000 square feet of vacant retail space that I plan to convert into self-storage one day. So in total, and I kind of just want to walk you through the numbers here, they built about 6,000 square feet of climate controlled storage. Currently, that's generating about $5,400 a month. And when they're all full, it'll generate about $7,800 a month. Okay, again, that's $93,000 annually is how much. They built some non-climate controlled units, not a lot, 2,550 square feet, currently producing about $800 a month in income. If they fill those up, they'll get to $2,000-ish a month on those, $24,000 a year. They have the cabinet shop paying $5,000 a month. It's 10,800 square feet, so that's a rate of $5.56 a year. The gym is in 9,000 square feet and paying less than the cabinet shop, so they're getting a great rate on these 9,000 square feet, $3,000 a month. The dance studio is paying $750 a month. $2.67 annually. They're stealing this space. And again, if we go back and we look at the storage here, this storage is producing, you come up here and you take the annual income of $93,792, and you divide it by the square foot, and that's going to give us our annual price per square foot. So the storage, for reference, is renting at $93,000. $15.63 a foot, and they have a dance studio renting at $2.67 a square foot. Do you think that's an opportunity to raise the income on this square footage? Absolutely. We can increase it by almost 7 times as much. If we converted this to storage and we rented it all out at storage, again, let's take this number right here, $15, I think it was 62 cents, times 3,375. This space, if it were storage, would produce $52,000 a year. They're currently only getting $9,000 a year. So big upside. That's one of the reasons I like this deal, is there are a lot of different upside. Now there's a vacant retail downstairs. They've got it rented as a storage unit for $750 a month, not a great deal. And there's upstairs 6,750 square feet, which I'll turn into storage. They have an office space who is currently filed for bankruptcy. It needs to be kicked out of there, but they're paying $700 a month. They're not really paying. And then here's what I want to do is I want to build an additional 15,000 square feet. There's extra room on the land of climate controlled storage. Again, their product up here that has done really well. I want to build that out, and it's going to generate about $19,000 a month. So if we add all these numbers up, and I'm just using my property stats here, which helps me kind of put all this in a format I can understand, they're currently producing about $16,000, $17,000 a month. That's $200,000 a year. And the monthly income, once I build the storage units out, would be about $38,800 a month. Now, if we take this number away from here, if we didn't build storage units, we just do about $20,000 a month once it's full. Again, it's doing about $16,000, $17,000 a month, has some upside to go up to $20,000 a month, but it's pretty much full as is. Again, you could convert these retail spaces into storage, have some long-term upside, right? Let's talk about this deal and the purchase price. I'm paying $2,250,000 for this deal. okay? And I'm going to value this deal on a 7% cap rate. Now, if we went out and we got a traditional loan right now, say 75% LTV, then we could pay probably more like 6.5% interest rate today on a 20-year amortization. Our payment on that would be $12,796 in the first year. That's interest only. Now, after the first year, we could go through, and again, this number, the reason these two are different is because I've got improvements down here of about $900,000 to build out those additional 15,000 square feet. That's a rule of thumb I like to use, is $60 a square foot to build out self-storage units, as long as it's like the one-story kind of drive up. What most people think about is self-storage, right? So again, I will borrow here a total of $2.36 million. And I need to copy this amount down here. It looks like my formula got messed up a little bit. We'll come down here, and in loan number 2, this is going to be when it starts to amortize, right? So I go from interest only, paying $12,796 a month, to once it's amortizing, I'm going to pay $16,925 a month. It's at a 6% interest rate. At a 6.5%, it's going to take me up to $17,614 a month in note payments. That starts in year 2. Now, here's kind of the different costs that I've got going on. The metal, the erection, which is what you say when you're putting the metal up, the concrete, electrical, HVAC, and then miscs and reserves. I'll spend it on something. I know I will. So let's take a look at the bottom here. The total for this deal is, again, $2.25 million for purchase, $900,000 in improvements, probably $40,000 in closing costs, working capital of $33,000. And if we take a look on the right here, this is our total funds needed, which matches over here. Our loan is $2.36 million, which means we need to put in $886,000 into this deal. It's a lot of money, but let me show you, is that a good number or is that not a good number? Now, we'd already kind of looked at our income and our expenses. I do want to show you this part right here. So if we have a potential gross revenue after we build the storage units, the additional 15,000 square feet, of $465,000 a year. Now, again, we're doing $16,000, $17,000 a month right now. Once they're completely full on the current existing buildings, they'll be doing about $24,000 a month. I'm sorry, $20,000 a month, which takes us to $240,000 a year. Good Lord. And here's how I kind of did this. I just said that I'm going to go up a rate of 10% occupancy until I get to 92% occupancy. That's what I'm underwriting to, is to be 92% full. Now, if I were building 100,000 square feet, then that's probably true. But realistically, I'm only building 15,000 square feet. For reference, it'll be like 110 to 130 units, somewhere in there. I'm trying to figure it out, right? But I think this is really conservative. But I can't just assume that I'm going to build the storage units on day 0 and they're all going to be full and I'm going to collect that income. I have to tell my analysis system that it's going to take time to build. It's going to take time to rent these out. And so you can see I've scaled my physical occupancy rate at 10% a year, and that gives me my rent collected going from $20,000 a month to $25,000 a month to about $30,000 a month to about $35,000 a month. Then in year 5, I'll do about $40,000 a month. Is kind of what the math works out to. Okay, so let's take a look at our expenses real fast. I'll show these to you. My property tax bill is going to go up. I've got my insurance, my property management at 5% of revenue, my utilities at $600 a month. I just have standard maintenance, pest control, landscaping, repairs, advertising, software. 3% of my revenue will go towards payment processing because I only take electronic payments, and Wi-Fi and labor. So we'll spend about $6,000 a month on operating expenses. That does not include the $12,000 to $17,000 a month of debt service, right? So we've looked at our down payment. We've looked at how we're going to finance it. We've looked at all the different things. Let's look at our pro forma that the system built for us. And by the way, while we're waiting on this to load, if you guys want my property stats, I built this for any kind of real estate investor, whether you're in self-storage, multifamily, single-family, duplexes, whatever. This will analyze any kind of deal, and it'll spit out a pro forma that looks just like this for you guys. Okay? So let me zoom in a little bit here, actually, and we'll walk through this together. My income statement, this is year by year. So in year 1, Okay, it shows that we're only going to cash flow $14,000, about $1,000 a month. Not great, but you have to remember is we're not really capitalizing on any of the upside of the additional buildings that we're doing, but we are paying the full debt payments on that. So that's why that number is not very high. And then in year 2, again, I went from an interest-only loan to a amortizing loan. So you can see my debt service went up $60-ish thousand, right? And then my debt service starts to stay the same. And you can see again, I think this is conservative. We go from $14,000 a year down to $5,000 a year, and then we start to ramp our income up. We go to $50,000, $110,000, $160,000, $170,000. So this is a pretty good deal in the sense of I can put $800,000 in and I can get back at least $100,000 a year, which is a 12% cash on cash, gets up to the 18% range, which is a pretty strong cash on cash in the world of real estate investing. Now, if we look at an IRR, if you get a 30% IRR in 3 years, that means your money grew by 30%. And then that money, once it's grown by 30%, grows by 30% again, and then growth, and then it grows by 30% again. It's compounding. It's measuring how your money is compounding. So to earn a 30% return out here in year 4, year 5 on almost $1 million investment, that's a great return to be earning overall on your money. And really what this shows is, again, we put in $800,000, and if we look in year 5, our $800,000 has turned into $3 million, right? So we've more than tripled the money we've put in, and at this point, it's generating $12,000 to $15,000 a month, $160,000 a year in income. That's straight cash flow from this deal. Now, what I really like about this deal is, again, I was telling you about how I've got all this other space, right? I've got this cabinet shop, which is producing $5.56 a year. I've got this gym, which is producing $4 a year. I've got this dance studio producing $267, and I have my vacant upstairs, which is 6,750 square feet, producing zero. I've underwritten zero income in this model that I'm showing you guys. And all of that, if we take this amount right here, 6,750 plus 3,375 plus the 3,375 plus the 9,000 plus the 10,800, okay, that's 33,000 square feet, 33,000. And when you're building out, like, you know, if you go buy an old Kmart or something like that and it's 100,000 square feet, you got to have hallways and stuff. So you're not going to be able to turn every single inch of that into storage. You're going to be able to turn about 75% of that. So what I could do here, excuse my typo, is I could get about 25,000 more square feet out of this deal. Now, I'd lose the income that's in place from this, right? I would lose $8,000 a month, but if I take 25,000 square feet and I get $15 a square foot on that, that's an extra $375,000. I'll lose about $120,000 a year. I'll gain about $375,000 a year. So $375 minus $120,000, give me an extra $255,000 a year. I'd probably have to pay a little more in insurance, a little more in property taxes. But imagine if you came in here, like, let's just say, I'll just show you guys how you can kind of analyze this in my property stat. So net additional income from conversion, right? We'll come in here, we'll say, you know, we'll do 25. Well, now we'll just do monthly rates. It was 255,000 a year, so 255 a year divided by 12, $21,000 a month is the extra revenue we could generate out of this property. So we'll enter in one unit at $21,000 a month, and let's go check out our Proforma to see how it affects it, right? We're really just kind of looking at future value. I'm trying to show you the upside in this deal and why I'm interested in this deal. So let's take a look. If I were to convert that, then the deal would produce, let's say, up to $400,000 a year of cash flow. Okay, that's $35,000 a month of cash flow, and the property would be worth $8 to $9 million at a later point in time. This is just on a 7% cap rate, okay? It's on a 7% cap rate, which I think is extremely fair. And again, let's say that we put in $888,000. Let's say the 25,000 square feet conversion cost me $500,000, so let's make this $1.3 million. We turn $1.3 million investment into $5 million. Pretty crazy, right? So I just kind of want to show you again, like why I want to buy a property that makes sense now. I want to buy a property that has value add potential, adding more storage units. And then I'm buying this one because it has multiple phases of value add. I could build all the storage in the back. Once those fill up, kick out the tenants in the cabinet shop and the gym when their leases are over, and then go forward and build more and more storage units, which is kind of the dream in this deal, right? So I'm going to delete this out. I just want to show you guys the upside and why I'm interested in that, kind of how I would analyze that, back of napkin style. But what I really want to show you guys is what I'm going to do on this is I'm actually going for an SBA loan, because if you remember, right, we looked at $888,000. I think that's a lot of money to put in one deal. So I'm actually going to an SBA loan. Instead of putting 25% down, I'm going to put 15% down. And here's kind of how the math works out. If I do that, I'm only putting down $556,000 instead of $888,000. So it saves me $300,000 that has to be put down at the time of closing. Now, the debt is going to be a little bit more expensive because I'm borrowing more money. But if I want to go, again, the income and the expenses didn't change. Just I changed the amount of money that I'm borrowing. So I reduced the down payment. That's going to cost me more in interest and in debt service. So I'm only going to cash flow, instead of the 160, 170, I'll cash flow, $130, $10,000 a month on this, but I will have only put down $556,000, and I still turn that into $2.5–3 million into the future, right? Now my returns get up into the 25%, 36 to 40% IRR, which is a really strong return in any kind of investment. But to do it in a real estate investment, like self-storage that is, historically been recession resistant, has grown a lot, has been highly valued, it makes me feel really good about the money that I'm putting into this deal. So let me know if you have any questions about my new deal. Let me know if there's any part that I said that didn't make sense. You want to know how to analyze this. Maybe I skipped over some part that you're questioning. Drop me a comment below. I'm happy to answer it. I want you guys to win in the self-storage investment space, in the real estate investing space. By the way, I don't know if you know this, I actually have a mentorship program called Real Estate Cash Flow Accelerator, where I'm helping people out who want to get serious about buying real estate deals. If you want to book a call, we kind of set up this where you can book a call with someone on my team to talk to them about if you're a good fit, if you have any questions about it. The call is absolutely free if you're serious about your real estate investing, just to kind of learn about it. I'll drop that link below to schedule. If you want to learn how to do deals just like how I'm doing, then you can join me live every single week and I can be your kind of personal mentor. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Any questions, drop them below. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you next time. Be great.